What can I say about Ultraman Omega Episode 8? I'm not really sure. It wasn't the greatest episode, and it wasn't the worst. It was definitely an episode. And there was something that I got mad at, and then I realized I was totally. So, last episode, we had the debut of Trigoron. And then this episode, we had his debut as a weapon, which is what happened with Reckiness. He was introduced in one episode, which I think was two, and then episode three, maybe it was three and four, whatever. Then he was used as a weapon. Sorry. Much like Soroto in episode 7, I too have caught a cold. So here we are. Anyway, I don't really have much criticism for this. It was weird that we had this bunch of like jokers who were able to make this AI that they worked with, Jennifer, which is just funny. And which reminds me of this. In this Red Panda book, one of the guys makes a. It might have been an episode actually. He makes a weapon, or he gets a weapon from somebody. He calls it Deborah, and it stops working at some point. He says, "Oh, Deborah, you finally gone and killed me, gotten me killed, or whatever." It was just like a funny thing. But I know it's common to give AI different kinds of names to humanize them or whatever, make them more easy to work with. Anyway, um, uh, ba, 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 so yeah, these jokers, the Ghost Riders, which I appreciated their little logo and their team. I didn't really like their hip hoop hurrah kind of thing, but whatever. um, they were kind of an interesting group. They reminded me of last episode we had an X-Files thing. They kind of reminded me of the Lone Gunmen. There's three of them. Their name doesn't really make sense. There's the Lone Gunman, but there's three of them. I don't remember if that's spelled out Lone Gunman is their group or if they're the Lone Gunmen, which if you're alone, then there's multiples of you. That doesn't make any sense, which they pointed out in the X-Files. But again, they kind of have that vibe. But they also have some sort of like weird, I don't know, like hacky science guide or a vibe to them where they're able to make this interdimensional portal thing, which is very strange that this is happening. And like the pace of and the state of science in the world of Omega seems very peculiar. And I almost wonder if these guys are going to come back. I know a little bit that there's going to be some sort of anti-kaiju defense force type of thing formed in Omega, and I'm really shocked that it hasn't happened yet at all. I wonder if maybe that'll be in season 2 or from episode 13 on. But like, if it does happen, I think these guys should be pulled into it because they have some sort of ability to use advanced technology. I mean, they create a wormhole. But what's really interesting, and like, there was a beat at the end where Ayumu is mad at them for treating science like, I don't know, something fun or something dangerous or something adventurous. She wants like science to be respected, and I understand that to some extent. But at the same time, if they're able to accomplish all these things, like, who cares about their kind of renegade rogue attitude? I did get a very like odd Ghostbusters kind of vibe from them. Maybe just because they were called the Ghost Riders, and they're obviously flying by the seat of their pants. But like I like the blue collar aspect of it. These guys are like blue collar paranormal investigators who are able to do these things, and like I like that. It's a good thing. It's a good vibe. I wouldn't mind there being an Ultraman show with like just a defense force like that. Now, before you tell me, oh, you got to check out Ultraman. I was gonna say X, but there is actually an Ultraman X. It has that. I don't know. My Ultraman literacy is low. I would say I've not seen a lot of shows, but the shows I have seen, I've really focused on them, and I have like a deeper knowledge of them than just somebody who's watching casually, just watching for the lulz. But yeah, I need to be exposed to more. I feel like maybe Ultraman Orb has something like this because there's like a team of journalists who start off with Orb being saved by him in the first episode. I don't know if they get involved with whatever team, but regardless, I kind of liked what was going on here, and I like the idea of this. Like, I thought about them. Look at this ramshackle group. There's a guy riding a bike. He's pedaling, riding the bike to power up this machine that Jennifer is helping them to control. It's this, time dilation machine or whatever. And like, it was fun and it was interesting. And I kind of liked the idea, the vibe of this like ragtag. Oh, I'm sick. Sorry. My brain is not functioning at full capacity. Group doing this kind of stuff. And it was weird. They went to another dimension, and Ayumu doesn't really seem to be like, she's kind of impacted by that. The guys aren't so much. But like, they meet this ghost boy who's possibly connected to this legend of this giant monster that is fought off by a giant, red humanoid type of guy. And they say like, oh, we wonder, the Ghost Riders, that is, they say, oh, we wonder if this Omega that's been showing up fighting kaiju, if he's actually the spirit of this mountain or whatever. And Kosei asks him, have you been here for like 1,000 years? And he's like, no, that doesn't look like me, does it? And one of the Ghost Riders comes over and says, what are you guys talking about? And oh, it's just an inside joke. So, like, once again, the guys are being sloppy about keeping his identity secret, which is frustrating to me, if it really matters, which I don't really want it to matter. I don't know why they insist that it should matter, but they do. And here we are, dealing with this, living in this world where it matters to them, to the creators. But yeah, I know, this was kind of like a middling episode. The kaiju was cool. There was nothing offensive about it. I really like this one moment that I have for the thumbnail where Omega pulls off the Trigoron claw and gives a thumbs up, and then he puts it back on. Like, it was just like kind of a light, fun episode that didn't do anything offensive, but it also didn't really move things forward. And I'm not against filler or that kind of thing, but just like, I don't know, just like give it a little more meaning. Like, why are we exploring this ghost thing? This isn't Concrete Revolution where we're going to have, yokai fighting kaiju at some point. I don't think. So, like, why bring up ghosts and why have that kind of thing going on? Is it just so that there's mystery in the world? Because there is something towards the end of the episode where Ayumi says, like, yeah, there's like things that science can't explain, can't understand, and they're beyond the realm of science, and that kind of matters. And like Kosei didn't see the ghost boy, but Ayumu and Soroto did, which, like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And even the ghost boy knows who he is, and he calls out after him, like, after they leave this pocket dimension back in time, I guess. I guess that's what it was. And the kid just says, Omega, and then that's it. Like, I guess there's a mystery there for the sake of having mystery, and, like, mystery's still a part of the world, which is good. I like that Ultraman has this idea of, like, exploring mysteries and exploring things that are interesting, dramatic. I like the heroic stories too, but, like, just like the sci-fi and paranormal stuff is also cool, and it's also nice, but it just, I don't really know what this one was about, and that's too bad. So, yeah. I don't really have much to say, not much to criticize. What did you think about the episode? Am I missing something huge that you say, oh, this makes it a great episode? I can't believe you ignored that, MJ. How dare you? I would love to know what I missed, if there is anything, or do you agree that this was just kind of like a middle of the road episode? It definitely doesn't make me hate it. I'm more mad about, like, the inconsistencies, like from a couple episodes ago, where there was something suggesting, well, whatever. The things that have suggested that Omega's actually been there, or the kaiju have been there for longer, upset me, and I thought that was going to happen this time, but it didn't. And the only reason it upsets me is because the premise of the show, or the promise of the show, is that kaiju are new to this world. So when you violate that promise, it's like, why? Why'd you do that? You didn't need to. There's speculation that they reuse scripts. Okay, update the script so that it doesn't have this glaring plot hole, or like glaring, violation of what the world is supposed to be about. Anyway, that's all. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Check the pinned comment for more. You can find my playlist for the rest of Omega and other things that I'm doing. I'm talking about Zets. I'm all caught up on Zets. And I've got other things talking about in Henshin Reflection. I think we might have something really cool to talk about. It's not a hot topic, but it is a cool one. And you might be interested in it. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Goodbye. Take care, and be good. And oh, God be with us all. Anyway, goodbye, folks. This is MJ with Henshin Inspection and Going Ultra, signing off. Oh, boy.